Perfect.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah,
Get in there, man.
You're back.
we're back. We got Matt and Nick.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
What's happening?
good. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
We did all the drugs. We're ready to do the interview.
Oh, nice.
We're all really inebriated right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How was rehearsal?
It was cool. It's for a different band, a group called the Mighty 388s.
Oh, cool. Who's in that?
We've got Jake Nager on drums, and then Matt, who's bass in Sure Fire, Matt LaBarber, and Nick Costa, who plays guitar in Sure Fire, and myself. And it's mostly like soul jazz standards, but we've got a few original songs that we play too.
Okay. Nice. So today was the day the album came out. So how do you guys feel? What's the word on the street so far?
Just very exciting. Yeah, you pointed me out. Like,
Explosions.
There's explosions. No, I mean so far I've seen I've seen some good feedback. I was trolling Facebook and Instagram. Like it's nice to see people excited about something that you did.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, because I just expected my mom to buy it and that's it, but other people did too. I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, see,
Hey.
not even my mom.
He bought it from Terry in Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
I went straight to the source to get it.
Nice.
Look, he's got all the
The nice picture inside,
Pretty legit.
and then it's even got the pretty purple vinyl.
Oh, shit, you got the purple one?
I don't
Yeah.
even have a purple one.
Yeah,
Cool.
you got one of the promos. That's awesome.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. I think
Thanks,
it's great.
man.
It'll be one of the best albums of the year by far, I think.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
So I think it would be cool to like go through track by track and get the stories behind the songs,
Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
that sounds good.
So I think like when I first heard the opening mariachi blast on Baja Norte, I was sold. So I guess let's start with that one.
Well, yeah. So that one, that song came about. I wrote it on piano, and I thought that I wanted to do something that had like a western.
You watched Tombstone. That's what it was, right?
Okay,
Remember?
that's right.
So Tim
Matt,
tried to get us to cover the Tombstone theme, but we were like, let's just write our own tune, and he wrote that one.
Yeah, you remember.
Nice.
I love the Tombstone theme, but it wasn't like hitting, So we did our own.
Yeah, so we did like a western cinematic soul, like, or I guess more, yeah, just western vibe, Ennio Morricone kind of thing. But yeah, we had Jesse doing sax on it, but we had to take it full mariachi and get the trumpet from our boy Bill Caballero, who blessed our first album tremendously with a bunch of beautiful solos.
Good. Yeah, it's rad. It's a good first song because it shows, you got a little Latin influence, you got some jazz, some funk. It's pretty diverse, so it's kind of a good introduction to the rest of the record, I think.
Catches your attention, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to play on the gig with us that we rehearsed for tonight, too.
True.
So,
Good old Bill.
Billy C.
Nice. And then the next one's Rise of the East. And that one to me like really fit into the cinematic soul kind of like sounds kind of like it could fit in on the Shaft soundtrack almost.
So yeah, that tune I started with a drum break. It was J.C. Davis, A New Day. I think the tune's called, pretty sure, and wrote it on my Wurlitzer here in the studio. And yeah, just Rise of the East comes from, I did the muted clavinet on it, and I thought it sounded like a coda, so that's kind of how it got the name. And what do you guys think about Rise of the East? Anything to add?
I mean, it just evolved over time.
Yeah,
We played that one for a while before we laid it down, I think.
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess not too much to say about that one. It's a fun song. Features a nice solo from Jesse Adello.
Yeah,
On the tenor sax.
very good. And then I like Che. I like the Ethiopian jazz influence on that one. How'd you come up with that?
We love Ethiopian jazz.
Yeah, yeah, we love Mulatu, and that was one where I was just checking out different Ethiopian jazz scales online, and I found one that wasn't like the kind of the standard one. I was like, oh, I'm gonna try that one out, and yeah, it just mixes two different modes. If I can get musically nerdy for here for a second,
Okay.
it has like one of the Ethio jazz variations on the A section, and then it goes into major pentatonic.
Okay.
Second section, which is the happy uplifting part.
Nice.
And the juxtaposition of the two just make you feel all right, I think.
It was also our only tune with vocals.
Oh yeah, our only tune of our own vocals.
Right.
Well, actually, we sang backup on the Meters tune, but I guess our only original song.
Yeah.
With vocals
on this record too.
On this record, and it features like a really like kind of like punk jazz solo from Robert Dove.
Okay.
On tenor sax, yeah, he killed that solo.
Yeah, I like the way it starts out with your Ethio jazz foundation that continues throughout, but then it turns into, you know, like a Western funk song. It doesn't stay Ethio peaks the whole time.
Sure.
And then the next one is Genies Get Down, which was your first single that you released a couple of months ago, and I think that's one of the coolest instrumental funk songs of the year by far.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But let's let Nick handle this one because he basically started jamming Billie Jean on stage at this place we used to play called 7 Grand. And Nick, take it away.
Oh yeah, I think it was just. I mean, we were playing a tune that was kind of based upon the Billie Jean Michael Jackson groove. And
okay.
We were just kind of we were sound checking before the show, and I think I was messing around with that groove, and then we were talking about, you know, it would be cool to turn that into a little bit more of an Afro funk type of sound. So I came up with like a little ostinato pattern, you know, based upon the chord structure of Billie Jean, and then that's where it started. And then I believe Jesse, we played it at a rehearsal, and then I think Jesse kind of took the reign on that one in terms of writing the melody for it.
Okay.
And the melody's just, you know, it's nasty if you hear it. Obviously, you have. So that melody pretty much is the driving force of the tune. But and then we, you know, live we do a little breakdown too to kind of pay homage to Michael Jackson, where we actually play like the actual, you know, backbeat that is so known of the tune. So we get people to recognize the fact that we're kind of playing a Michael Jackson type of sound, but yeah, that's how it started.
Nice.
At 7 Grand. So it was fun. It's fun how that's how a song came about from us just literally playing, you know, like trying to like just waste time on stage, you know,
right.
before a gig, and then we're like, oh shit, this could actually, you know, and it's one of my favorite songs on the album, which is, I think that's a cool story. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you didn't explain it, you can't hear that it's Billie Jean.
No, I mentioned that to my brother, and he was like, oh, yeah, like, I totally get it, but never occurred to him even for a second.
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah. Because in my mind, I always think psychologically it's ingrained in me that I know, like, where it stems from, but to somebody who's never doesn't know the process, or, you know, I would imagine that it sounds nothing like, and so we play the break in a live setting, and I was like, oh shit, Billie Jean, dude. Everyone gets all down, but it's, yeah.
That's when everybody dances.
Right, exactly.
Hopefully throughout the whole tune. That
right.
would be ideal.
And then the next one was Sunny Santa Ana, which I love because it just makes you feel good, you know? It takes you away to like sitting by the beach and drinking a good IPA and just kicking back on a gorgeous California day. And then your guitar work on it is fantastic. Like, how'd you get that tone that's so joyful?
The tone master right here. Tell him the tone master. That's all Tim. Right? Well, no, it's similar. I mean, it sounds amazing. Like what he does with it sounds 10 times better after we record it, you know, in terms of finding just the right vibe. But I believe that style came up, I think me and Tim just got together this was a while ago. We wrote this a while ago, but he came together and gave me a progression. And then we were just jamming. You know, what we do is we come up with a progression. Then I wrote the melody. I just came up with a melody line. And then I took it home and harmonized it a bit, had a few issues, brought it to rehearsal. And then the horn players helped out in terms of making it tight. And they have that perspective of what's going to work. That's different than how I think. So it stemmed from that. But, I mean, the progression itself kind of gave the melody. You know, it was kind of easy, actually, because the progression was so... like lowrider vibe, you know, and it just had that feel. So it was kind of, it was very singable. So yeah, what you're saying exactly was what we were thinking when we wrote it.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely had that. I mean, to pigeonhole it and call it the lowrider chord progression. It's just like major 1 chord to a minor 2. It's just like so many classic Motown and soul songs from the late 60s, early 70s have that same chord progression. So
yeah,
good place to start for a soul tune, I would say.
Nice. And then what about Lemon Grove Swagger? That one.
Well, I wanted to write something that was slow and gangster.
Okay.
And kind of psychedelic. Yeah, I live in a town called Lemon Grove.
Okay.
And there's I won't lie, there's a lot of characters around here. roaming the neighborhoods, and some of them have a rocking the swagger, and you know, so
it's kind of dark.
Goes out to them. Yeah, it's a little dark.
Dark and light though, because it lightens up on the solos and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. You know? That's a cool, very dark, and then the bridge is very whimsical and otherworldly sounding.
It lifts up. It's like Lemon Grove's not that bad after all.
Maybe I would live there.
Nice. And then Out on the Coast is a killer cover of a rare groove classic. So how did you guys pick that one to do and make it your the title track?
Is that a whistle?
That was my phone, I think.
Oh, cool.
Out on the Coast, yeah. I heard it on YouTube at some point, and I was like, yes, this song rules. Sure Fire needs to do this. And we rehearsed it, and it was sounding really good. And we played it out a bunch. And I never take the solo on it live, but I didn't have a solo on this album, so I was like, well, it's going to have to be out on the Coast. And it pushed me a little bit because I don't play that style so much, and especially on the bridge section when it goes into the jazz chords. I'm not really a jazz player, but I tried it out, and I was like, you know, it sounds like I'm faking it until I make it. I might have made it okay.
Made it. Well, then it fits the whole, you know, vibe of the kind of what we were going for with the album itself, like the theme, the photo, and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, the name of the tune.
Yeah. So Out on the Coast, we're just like, well, that's it, you know, for sure.
Yeah, it's perfect. I dig it. It's a little more upbeat than the original, and like the solo that Tim takes is pretty nasty, you know, like
right. It's dirty.
Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. No, I think the tempo came from playing it live too. You know, we just realized like
I remember the process. I was here for that recording process, and it was we were dialing that nasty sound and.
Oh, the organ.
The organ, yeah.
Yeah, we were blowing out this 1950s tube preamp that I have, blowing it out on the organ, and yeah, we're just like, oh, that's too much. Okay, there it is.
Just dirty enough.
I was able to press the record button when you did it.
Nick pressed record. It was rad.
You get an engineering credit on there, Nick? Bullshit if you didn't.
Yeah.
Get on that. Well, that got me to listen to Inner Crisis by Larry Willis, which is a really cool album.
Oh, yes. That is we love that album.
And then after that was Pig's Feet, which I love. Like that's, to me, like almost like an Isaac Hayes tune. I think you would do him proud.
Oh, yeah.
That's an old song too. That was the first tune, I think that we jammed. Tim and Pete, the drummer, and myself, we started out, that was our first incarnation, you know, it was a jam session at his house, and that was one of the first tunes we played. But it just never we didn't end up recording it or using it, and we were like, man, it turned out great. And there's an awesome trombone solo on there from Andy God that like makes the tune for me. As soon as he comes in, I'm like,
oh yeah, and to me, I mean, I was kind of listening to a lot of Meters at the time, and Robert Walter and Ramsey Lewis, and I was kind of going for that vibe. And then a former colleague of ours, Baltimore, helped me write the sax part. And
Baltimore. Yeah,
but yeah, big speed.
It's a change up, right? For the record, like it just kind of switches gears real quick. I dig it.
You almost get like a little. I mean, I always feel like a New Orleans vibe too with trombone on there a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and some stacks. It's got some stack style to it.
Oh yeah, with the horn during the chorus. Yeah.
And then what's Volcano Babes? What's the story with that?
Smoking fat balls.
This guy Nick, he's not family friendly. I apologize.
No,
I'm just joking. Well, Volcano Babes. I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
The thoughts in our mind on that one, and it's got the little reggae feel in the first part, and then a little dubbish feel, and then goes into a more psychedelic, floaty. We go into odd times for the.
Has like a Herbie Hancock feel with.
60s horns.
Yeah.
Wayne Shorter-esque horns.
And then Jesse kind of came up with a cool. Right? Was he?
Yeah, our boy Jesse Adello, horn master. He wrote the horns for that.
It's like three pieces that shouldn't go together that somehow go together.
Yeah, three different styles that we made work together to form an intro. Well, I hope people can consider it an interesting song.
Interesting to us. Yeah.
It's interesting for sure.
Didn't we change up the drums a little bit than what we do live now? Or doesn't the drum pattern change up a bit from the recording to what we do live? No?
Not that I know of.
For some reason.
I hope not.
Very minimal.
Yeah.
This is what happens sometimes.
And then from that one, you go into phase one. It's like the most, jam heavy tune on there.
That's a Costa banger right there.
Yeah, I think I just had a pattern that main melodic guitar line, the main guitar riff that you hear, and then at a rehearsal in between songs, I was jamming on it. Tim liked it, and then I took it home and wrote more to it. Wrote horn parts for it. Took it to the rehearsal. Had a few issues with it, and then Jesse and the horn guys helped me tweak it a bit, which is awesome because they really made it as solid as possible. And then, and then we just kind of, made it work in our ensemble setting. But it definitely stemmed from that guitar line, and it's a little bit more of a rock heavy,
right?
A little bit more of a maybe Budos feel in terms of the heaviness, I guess, on the horn structure. But it's definitely a surefire or original, in its own right, I would say.
Yeah, it's got that psychedelic breakdown.
Yeah. There's cool parts to it. It sounds really
more odd time signatures.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get fancy on us. Sure.
What's the odd time signature on that one?
5. 5/4.
Really, it'll blow your socks off.
It's funny to watch people try to dance to it, actually, because it's like, the groove's pretty solid on the first part, and then it gets to that part, and they're like,
"What do I clap?"
Yeah.
Every beat.
Yeah, all the beats.
Nice.
It just switches from backbeat claps on 2 to claps on 1 and 3, and then back to claps on 2 and 4. No, we sound so like, it's the 5/4 a metronomic metronome.
It's cool tune, man.
Anyway, that song is really fun, and I couldn't be happier with how it sounds with everybody. Everyone made it sound super badass, and then with the recording process that Tim did, it was really nice to hear it. Really great.
Isn't that Terry's favorite?
Yeah, Terry Cole likes that one a lot.
He's
the Coal Mine Records guru.
That's his jam.
Yeah, it's dope. I think it's cool because it's not just Nick you know, everybody's, you know, going extra hard, it seems, on their section. You know, the drums come in hard, the organ comes in hard, the horn comes in hard.
Well, yeah, that's what's cool. Everyone has, I think, a little style that when they write a tune, and then everyone just kind of adds their little, their personal, you know, element on there, and it you know, it becomes a beautiful flower.
Yeah, nice.
Uniquely Surefire.
Yeah.
Right. And then Balboa Park closes out the record, and that's another like beautiful sunny day type song. What's the story on that one?
That was a beat that I had made probably 7 years ago or something like that, a long time ago, and I thought it would be cool to try with the band, so I brought it to the band, and we needed a melody over the A section, so Jesse wrote the flute line, which was really cool. And then we wrote that bridge part, which was never in my original beat. And the vibe is just stony. There's a park here in San Diego. It's like the central park of San Diego, kind of. It's Balboa Park. The planes fly overhead, and we actually play at a venue there sometimes called Panama 66.
Oh, cool.
And it's just like a cultural hub of San Diego.
Okay.
That's like a walk in the park tune. That's actually, I think that's my favorite tune on the record.
It's
It's funny because we don't play it live, you know, because it's like super mellow.
Okay.
But it's every time I hear it on the record, I just love that little flute line. Just so groovy.
Right on.
Yeah, the flute is beautiful. It's a beautiful song.
That's our boy Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse's funky flute's
Some
fantastic.
ukulele in there too. If you listen closely, you can hear some acoustic guitar
Okay.
there. Yeah, there's some cool textures in there. It was a lot of fun.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, what else should people know about this new record?
Well,
It sounds good on vinyl. You should buy
it
it.
sounds good on vinyl. You could
It does.
probably still get some of the oranges at your local record stores.
Okay.
That might be the only place to get them at this point, or at our release show. If you're in San Diego on November 5th, we will have about 30 of the orange at the Hideout in San Diego. But we have tons of the black vinyl, so you can buy that. CDs for days. You can buy CDs. We've got some. We've even got a few cassettes too.
Okay,
For a
nice.
cassette person, you can buy cassettes. Digital for days. We'll never sell out of the digital. You know, that's unlimited.
Well, yeah, and then aside from where to buy it, I would say that we put a lot of effort into this, a lot of time into it. We're like really proud of it. So it's really cool to see that people are responding, because I feel like it's very different from the first one, and that could be a good or a bad thing. You know, I didn't know if people were going to be like, "Oh, I kind of like the first one better," but I feel like it's gonna hit. It's gonna get there for people. I think.
Yeah, I think they're equal for different reasons. They're both excellent records, you know, and it's just great to see you guys being so prolific.
Thanks. We're already working on the third one.
Yeah,
baby.
thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Thank you. Such nice words.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. I'm excited about the record, and I wish you a lot of success with it.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to ask us these thoughtful questions and record it for the YouTube audience.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure.
You're very appreciative.
Right on, Joe.
All right, fellas. See ya.
Bye.
Take care, man.
Later.
Bye.